discover liberation just have vastly different understandings of what liberation is for.
I haven't seen this much importance and attention.
The story itself is a really wonderful, really great setup.
Tractor beam has been engaged.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tractor Beam Comics Reviews, your one-stop shop for in-depth commentary and discussion on this week's Star Wars comics. And I mean this week and a few weeks ago. It is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. It's the 47th week of comics in 2025. I'm Matthew. He's Chris. We're on the Tractor Beam Comics Reviews. How are you doing this week, Chris?
They're pretty good, doing pretty good. Coming off of that extremely busy week last week, and we're going to be still talking about one of the things that came out last week. So
Yeah,
settling in for more of a regular week here.
yes. And then after this, we will finally be caught up until 2 weeks from now, which we'll get into that one. There we go. But yeah, let's get to the plugs out of the way. You can follow us on Blue Sky at the Tractor Beam. That's the tractorbeam.bisky.social, and follow everything Chris is up to at Star Raptor, StarRapter. That's on youtube.com/Star Raptor and at Star Raptor on Twitter. Also, follow the Underworld Network at the SWU for all your Instagram, all your Twitter, all your Facebook, all your other needs, other social media needs. Ben's got you covered there. Yeah, I mean, I have access if I need to, but Ben's got you covered there. Also, if you prefer audio, we will throw this up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, give it a listen. Give us a look. Tractor Beam, the Tractor Beam Star Wars Comics Reviews is what we're known there, and of course also on Blue Sky. Yeah, here on YouTube as well is what we're calling it, because that's how you get the eyeballs. Apparently, there we go. Who knew?
Wow.
Also, we are part of the Star Wars Underworld Podcast Network, and here on the YouTube channel, we got YouTube memberships, we got super chat. So if you chat with us, if you're down in the comments, if you chat with us, we'll get to your comments as best we can, as soon as we can. If you super chat us, someone super chatted us on Monday, Joel and me, and yeah, we got to that eventually. Oh, no, sorry, we got to that immediately, I will say. So please do support the channel, support the network. We're grateful for anything you can provide. Also, the Discord server down below. You can get a link into the Discord server, and yeah, we can chat away about comics, about Star Wars comics, about different theories that Joel has about Star Wars and different ideas that he finds, and sparking discussion there. Also, some game nights, D&D nights, different things. So check that out in the description down below. But without further ado, we have one comic that came out today, and then we're doing, as Chris mentioned, one that came out last week, a manga that came out last week. So we'll jump right in to Jedi Knights number 9, probably of 10, written by Mark Guggenheim, art by Madabek Muzabekov, colors by Luis Guerrero, letters by VC's Clayton Coles, cover also by Madabek Muzabekov and Jesus Aburtov. The secret of Corliss Wrath is revealed. The mysterious Corliss Wrath has hunted Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn across the galaxy. Now learn the why in this first part of the deadly villain's origin. Guest starring the enigmatic Count/Master Dooku. Yeah, this one really felt like the first part of a 2-part finale. And I definitely, that's a good thing. I appreciate that. I always appreciate the way when an author is able to really bring a story to a close. And so it is a little sad that if this is it. Hopefully there is a bit of a season 2. We'll get into kind of speculations or something at the end. Yeah, like you're shaking your head. Probably not.
No, it literally says, dude, it says at the end, the last page, like, this will conclude. It says
yeah.
that.
Well, no, it says the conclusion of the Corliss Wrath story. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean there could be a whole other anthology thing, but you know, the saga of Corliss Wrath concludes is what it says. Anyway, but yeah, so this whole thing tying together. What was really struck me is Qui-Gon, seeing Padawan Qui-Gon in this, and because you know there's flashbacks. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are going to that planet after he's recovered from this stabbing. by this Coreless Wrath. And it's the usual take on the, I made this mistake in the past, and it's coming back to haunt me. We've seen that plenty of times before. I think we've even seen it with Qui-Gon before. But it's fascinating to see it through Qui-Gon that he ignited the green because he got into trouble. He's a Padawan, gets into this trouble, tries to find a diplomatic solution to this crime group that was terrorizing this village, and very quickly realizes, very quickly is led by a future Darth Tyrannus that you can't negotiate with them, you can only fight with them. And we aren't fully shown what the big mistake is, what the big sin is.
Yeah.
But my guess is something to do with him not necessarily murdering or killing anyone, but injuring someone deeply. This Coreless Wrath character who has gone through, that's another bit of an interesting lore. But anyway, the Qui-Gon, he ignites his green and is about to duel. We ends on this cliffhanger. He's about to duel this younger version of who Coreless Wrath is. And he clearly weighs him down.
Davros Hex is the guy's name. Yep.
Davros Hex. And what's so striking is it's Qui-Gon. It's why are we seeking a violent solution? Why, Jody Hauser giving us the story of why something's coming, and it's going to be because we're so quick to call to arms. The guy who gives the council a piece of his mind, when that's his role, that's his place, and to show that, as a young Padawan, he was temporarily taken through, I think somewhat innocently enough on his part, because he's just a Padawan, but taken through this down this wayward path by his master Dooku, who he trusts. And looking back, what's curious to me is why he blames himself so much, why this weighs on him so heavily, when it makes sense given the emotional stakes involved, even if clearly looking back, this Darth Tyrannus guy, he's up to no good. I guess they don't fully know if he's a Sith Lord by this point, but clearly it's after he's left the Order. And he's kind of up to no good. And seeing how Dooku's turn is reverberating and almost backfiring through Qui-Gon, because this experience clearly shows Qui-Gon that you can't go down darkness. There's actually no in an odd allegory here, there's no quarter to darkness. You have to seek the light, even if it means sacrifice, even if it means doing the foolish thing. And that's a hard lesson he has to learn. So Mark Graham really giving that to us in this comic book, in these flashbacks, but in clearly seeing how in the present day Qui-Gon is weighed down by it. So that was what really stuck out to me. Maybe we can probably go back and forth about this. We have some time, but what stood out to you in this comic book?
Yeah, for this comic book, what stood out to me was the Dooku kind of pull the strings on Qui-Gon and tempt him to differences that he's been going, because he is still a Jedi at this point on the council. I don't know if he's on the council yet, but he's part of the Jedi, obviously. But that he's having at this point, he's having those thoughts. We don't know how. Wait a minute. Is he part of the? He might not be part of the Jedi anymore. Actually,
no, he's definitely still the master, right? I mean,
because
like
I
on
was
in
under
that
assumption
mission
that he left the Jedi Order like way earlier than the Phantom Menace, so this is supposed to be pretty close to the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I mean the present day, but I mean the flashbacks.
True. Okay. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
This is way back. Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense. Okay. So still, my bearing of the whole idea was still on point. Like the idea
Yeah.
that he is at this point questioning his idea of what he thinks a Jedi is, what they should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of way of thinking that gets him to go where he goes later on in life. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was cool foreshadowing, a lot of great foreshadowing. And it's like he's sinking his tendrils into Qui-Gon, trying to tempt him with his thoughts. And, Qui-Gon has always been a maverick Jedi, never really like following the mold of what the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
Jedi are doing, which is why we like the guy so much. But it was cool to get that backstory of like, the Tales of the Jedi series
Mm-hmm.
really just was like the first puzzle piece to kind of unlocking that Darth Tyrannus origin story. And since we've had all these other stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just nice to see that Lucasfilm is still mining material from that point of view and from what he is thinking in his perspective of what he believes. And and then it's stuff with I think just the way this was orchestrated worked effectively. We'll talk about the details specifically, but just how it will
Mm-hmm.
go from present day to
Yeah.
past day, like the unraveling of the mystery, and we're there with Qui-Gon as he's like realizing what's
Yeah.
happening in his own past. I think that was a really effective way of telling the story, and I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it overall.
Yeah, two kind of echo shots, trying to find them. Just going from here, this panel here, uh, Padawan to Master. Oh yeah, see the Master at this point. Clearly, the clean shaven kid, and then he's the pieces of the puzzle, like you said. Trying to find which one. Trying to find it here. Where is it? Like there's this moment where he's talking to Dooku, and then we see, I'm sure I gotta find this. Yeah, like he's in the library and it's Dooku's bust is there. Okay, well,
Oh
I can't
yeah,
find it. I gotta find it, but
let me look on a
I'll look.
digital page here.
Yeah, I'll look at it later. But this last shot here, right? I mean, that's a great kind of like I talked about a lot with Will Sliney in the Rise of Skywalker adaptation, right? The Luke or the Leia and the Rey. This is the kind of thing you can do, is just these parallels, and it really gets into Qui-Gon's own thought and mindset and feeling of oh no, I'm back to this moment, right? I will say, with Dooku, it's fascinating. Kevin Scott's audio play portrays him in not the best light. Says he left basically because he wanted to take over his family business. the be the Duke of Sereno. Yeah, that Trials of the Jedi, or Tales of the Jedi, it goes into the good intentions that lead Dooku down this path. And here we have good intentions, if you will, sort of. I mean, like they're trying to protect this village, but it's more for Dooku, I think, more about here's this threat, and we got to be aggressive against this threat, and unthinkingly aggressive. And that's the difference, is Qui-Gon's actually thinking, yes, he's following the Jedi code, maybe somewhat blindly, but Dooku's blindly saying, no, you can't, you just gotta fight. And it's really, it really clearly plays out the contrast. People type to think, and hopefully people don't think this anymore. Maybe, I don't know if in your conversations you found this, but that Qui-Gon's this gray Jedi of some sort. And we've lambasted the whole concept of gray Jedi plenty of times on Iron Canon, but no, he's not. And Dooku maybe tries to be, and you see what happens. Qui-Gon clearly going in the direction, running so far the other way, and not in a fearful way, but in a, okay, well, here's the thing. I think, did we get it in this comic? The greatest teacher of failure is. Did we get in that? Or yeah,
Yep.
That's Yoda's already saying this. Maybe and Qui-Gon saying it to Obi-Wan, or whichever in that dialogue, in reference to this moment here that Qui-Gon's remembering. yeah, Qui-Gon already got there, that the greatest teacher can be failure, and here's this failure leading him to a far more serene, wise path. Even with the Phantom Menace, he's not. Even he's all, no, I'm not here to free slaves. We gotta be kind of have some aggressive negotiations. He ends up having to fight Maul, and that's how he dies. Spoiler alert for a film that came out 21 years ago, or 26 years ago. But yeah, it's playing up that contrast. I thought was really well done. You mentioned some different details you want to get into in terms of the art.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm just sitting here and just talking, and as you're speaking, just looking through the panels. I'm like,
Yeah,
man, this is why don't we get more stories like this? This is the kind of stuff that people that read Legends. I didn't read a lot of Legends, but this gives off Legends vibes to me a lot, actually. From the little I've read about it, of like giving us this tight story about the backstories of these characters. But we don't ever see Qui-Gon this young. We don't ever really see Dooku this young. This is such a good idea. Lucasfilm needs to greenlight more ideas of like origin stories for some of these Jedi that we know, because a lot of them are a blank canvas right now, and there's so much to mine from them, other than going back to and I love them, but other than going back to like another Han Solo story, or another Rey story, or something for like the umpteenth time. Let's get more stories like these that are so interesting and so exciting, because they're peeling back more layers of these characters that we thought we knew for the last 30 years. You know what I mean?
I mean, and of course with Han, how many more layers are there to go? I'm sure there are. Like, well, Rodney Barnes proven that point wrong a little bit.
Yeah,
last week, but there's other characters to explore. The panel I was thinking of. So here's a nice clean shaven Master Dooku up here, and then the next page in the opposite corner is his bust. I'm gonna just presume, I know that can't be Keeve. I'm gonna presume Keeve is on the other side of the library there. I'm guessing that's supposed to be his bust. Right, the fallen, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it's true. Yeah, I've been talking about this a lot. Is the appetite for prequel stories is here. Wearing this shirt. That's what I was saying. Is this Jedi Knights title itself is vague enough. The anthology parts of the story are valuable enough that you can have another through line like this, just in maybe a different character, maybe another legacy character, to tell like this kind of another origin story. And that's the thing, is there's the potential for this between this one and Legacy of Vader. Clearly the sales for these two, and clearly these are the two successes of this year. So there is time to do. We should do a year in review at some point, but yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the question. Is what do you think about? I mean, I think this is the splash page guys were saying do like a volume 2.
Yeah, they were saying that as well. I mean, this is as people call it these days, evergreen content.
Yeah,
like these stories, like they'll always be exciting for people to pick up. They might not ever touch the prequel content again or something for the on-screen stuff for such a long time, but still, it's like, give us these stories. There's a large faction of people out there that love these characters, and say what you will about the prequels, right? The Jedi are some of the coolest parts about those prequels. You might get some of the older folk that are like, it's boring with politics, but they're like, I like that Mace Windu guy, or I like that Kit Fisto guy.
Yeah.
Right. Get stories about them. Even those guys will be like, oh, I'll pick that one up because it's doing something cool, and it's a swashbuckle adventure of these badass Jedis just going around doing their thing. Right. So from that respect, it's like, if this thing is selling well, maybe give it like a 3-month, 4-month, maybe even a 6-month break, and bring it back for volume 2.
Yeah.
And because like it's interesting with the anthology state of it, right? Like,
Mhm.
okay, there's a loose connection between some of these, like the Jedi Youngling one from like last month is a completely separate
Yeah.
one that could just be a one shot for all we know. And maybe next time they'll do another tight story. I would like to see, maybe they don't even have to do 10 issues again. They do another a 5 issue run, but have a very tight,
Mhm.
maybe just instead of around 12 different Jedi or however many there have been, they could do like maybe like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
We've done that story, kind of a similar story with John Jackson Miller's The Living Force on that Archipelago planet before
Mhm.
the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
That worked out really well. A lot of cool partnerships with the different Jedi, especially the Jedi of the Council and all that. So that'd be good. But as far as like different points, what do you think about the whole reveal of this character and how he got
Yeah.
like his face got transformed? Like, what do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I mean, it's definitely a fascinating concept. I mean, always introducing more shape shifting type characters. It kind of a little bit reminds me of is it Court? His character with the shell, the mask.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
little different. It's different. I mean, this is this optional rite of passage that you go and become this almost meta, not a meta human, but wrong franchise, but like yeah, like you get super strength, you risk uh you risk dying. And yeah, I mean it can definitely, well, you know what, it's again kind of like Maul. Maybe this is partly what Mark Guggenheim is thinking, it's how at least later on with Maul, with when it comes back from the dead and the Night Sisters give him all that the green juice, and he's able to come back and stand on 2 feet, so 2 legs there. Yeah, but it's a neat twist on the idea, and a part of me wonders probably if that's connected to what Qui-Gon is feeling and experiencing about how maybe this older duel pushed this other character to do that, to take that risk. I can see it causing some damage, psychological damage on someone to face that kind of risk too. But yeah, it was very neat concept. Maybe something to explore even from a point of view character would
yeah.
be, to say what's that like? What's that transformation like?
Part of me, part of me was a little cynical on this plot line. Honestly,
Mm,
I thought that it was a little too convenient. Where it was like,
sure.
oh, this guy just happens to just change his face and magically he's a different person. Like I just like, oh, is Qui-Gon? I thought
Mhm.
Qui-Gon was smarter than this. I thought Qui-Gon, after all these years of his wise sageness, would have
Mhm.
already figured this out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Um, it just seemed very convenient. Like, oh, he just magically changes his appearance, but only some of the people on the planet can do this, and he's not a Claudite. So I
Right.
appreciate like the different way of
Mhm.
going about it, but I mean, it was just, I don't know what I could have done differently in that
Mhm.
point, but it just, something about it just rubbed me the wrong way.
Interesting.
Honestly, I don't, I didn't completely buy into this thing.
I could see it being convenient, sure. Like how the secret identity and prolonging the suspense until this issue. I'm glad I randomly grabbed this T-shirt without thinking about it, because it's great to see Jocasta Nu actually knowing what she's doing, actually
Yeah,
figuring it out, and so there's that. But yeah, I mean, Qui-Gon. Let me try and understand this. He's not necessarily thinking so clearly. Maybe he's
mm,
blocked it out of his mind. Does he have any reason to suspect it's this person? Uh, you know, uh, of all the different threats he's faced, of all the different folks who want at him, maybe. But the fact that I think the fact that it was driven to such revenge maybe finally led him to start to put the pieces together, like he says, put the puzzle pieces together. Again, I can see what you're getting at, but that didn't cross my mind. I was like, oh,
okay.
interesting, to answer your question. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's all I've got for this one. Hopefully, yeah, very intrigued. This cliffhanger ending, cliffhangering one of two tonight, but yeah, very intrigued by where Mark is going to finish this because, and again, really satisfied. It's so hard to finish a story as many Star Wars creatives have found, and yeah, Mark, another one who knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. So that also gets me thinking with this Corliss Wrath, that kind of transformation, shape shifting, that had to be planned in from the beginning. So that kind of helps me get there too. So yeah, any last thoughts on this one?
Oh yeah, I have a couple actually.
Okay,
So
go for it.
first off, there's the doctor there that's part of the Jedi
Oh yeah.
temple on Coruscant, and she had mentioned.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's this connecting to Legends or anything because it's definitely not in canon that I know of.
Mhm.
Something called Twilight sedation.
Yeah.
And I picked up right on that. I said, okay, that's a new term I've not heard of. I'm not familiar with. I don't know if you are.
Nope. I don't know
Interesting.
Legends at all, so
Okay, yeah,
I know
interesting. So,
barely Legends. Sorry, go ahead. What'd you
so
find out?
I just found it was okay, cool bit of Jedi lore.
Mhm.
Maybe allowing the Force to kind of put them in a kind of coma sort of thing. I don't
Mhm.
know.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is a bit of a jump scare.
yeah.
Whoa. Sorry.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, another Qui-Gon thing here is
Mhm.
the last thing here I'll mention is how he was like seeing his life flash before his eyes, like
Yeah.
the past and all these different things colliding, and of
Mhm.
course that's foreshadowing because we're gonna see
Yeah.
him on his back there with Obi-Wan's embrace at the end of the Phantom Menace. So what might he be thinking about at that
Mhm.
very moment? Now having that notice of okay, like he's done it before, he's on his deathbed, he was
Yeah.
technically dead. Even the doctor said he was dead for a little bit there, and he got brought back. So adds a little bit more of that. Oh man, yeah, this guy's not going to last much longer, and
True.
he's going to experience this all over again for unfortunately a final time.
Not before meeting the chosen one, though. He meets the chosen
Mm.
one, and that we know that's what he's thinking. That's all he's thinking about at the end of Phantom Menace because it's Anakin's trilogy. So, but yeah, true. Like, kind of, I wonder how he considers his whole life to be leading to this moment that he randomly encounters this kid in this random junk shop in this random dust planet,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely Margaret and I'm giving us stuff to think about, stuff to sink our teeth into. It's what you want in a comic book. In a comic book. All right. It's moving right along. Path of the Lightsaber. This is a manga. See, manga volume 1. This is written and drawn and everything by Kenny Ruiz. So this is I can only find a 2-paragraph description, so I'm going to read it all. The First Order rules the galaxy, but some still remember the Jedi Knights who once bravely defended the Republic. So again, jumping towards this into the sequel area here. Nyoka, a resourceful young Tinker, dreams of becoming a Jedi like the legendary Luke Skywalker. For now, though, she keeps a low profile aboard a salvage ship, the Random Luck, with her crewmate Baroon, an enthusiastic supporter of the Resistance. During an expedition to a mysterious asteroid, so this is kind of leading it on. Anyway, it's okay. During a mysterious, I guess this kind of goes into the plot. Oh, I'll keep going. During an expedition to a mysterious asteroid, Nyoka stumbles upon an incredible find: a lightsaber, the weapon of the Jedi. As she tries to figure out how to use it, she realizes others are after the artifact as well, seeking to use it for sinister purposes. With danger closing in, Nyoka must protect the lightsaber and herself while learning what it truly means to wield such power. But if she's going to stand the chance, she'll need someone to teach her the ways of the Jedi. Chris, you love this one at first sight. I'll let you dive in. What stood out to you in Path of the Lightsaber Volume 1?
Just about everything, man. It's the best manga that Star Wars has produced yet. I'm sorry, High Republic, but this
Take.
one
Yeah,
was
sorry.
awesome.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed the manga. What is it called again? Sorry,
uh,
the High Republic ones.
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Those ones. Yeah, I mean they had the reason why this one does it for me so well
Mhm,
is one major thing here. And
mhm.
it's probably because my mind is in the middle of Visions. They put this out at a perfect time. Great
Yeah.
job by Lucasfilm with some synergy going on. We got
Mhm,
Visions Volume 3 with 9 different uh shorts, right, from Japanese creators.
right.
Now, technically, Kenny Ruiz is not Japanese. He's from Spain, but
Mhm,
he has accolades because his manga was featured like in Japanese places to buy. Like they respect him enough to like acknowledge that he can
mhm,
create their own art style. So he's pretty much one
right.
of them kind of thing, right? So this is close to Japanese manga as we can get.
Mhm,
Um, but what I really like about it, that being said, is from the small amount of Japanese pop culture and anime and manga that I've read, it's got a certain feel to it. This kind of zany, over the
mhm,
top, very expressive, but also very sentimental. And this Japanese culture is very quick to pull out the rug from underneath you and make you like feel stuff real fast, like
yeah.
humor, and then you just get like, oh crap, this character died. This is very melancholy, very quick, right?
Hmm.
That book captures that to a T.
Mhm,
But not only that, it delves, and this does something that Visions doesn't even do. It actually it's actually canonical,
yeah.
and it does the anime stuff really, really well. The manga anime stuff with the humor and all the expressiveness,
Mhm,
but it manages to weave a story that makes so much freaking sense in the Star Wars
yeah.
galaxy. I read this in one sitting, and it's a bit larger than the High Republic ones from what I can recollect,
Mhm.
as far as the pages amount and all that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
it's a bit longer, yeah.
But I was hooked. I loved it. It did a lot of great world building. I mean, so many interesting characters. Just about every character in this book had a very interesting past and
Mhm,
present, and had a role to play and had layers to them. This is now the blueprint. This is now the gold standard going forward for Star Wars canonical anime slash
mhm.
manga. I
Yeah.
think what they were able to juggle with the authenticity to
Mhm,
Japanese manga while having the authenticity of Star Wars, and even putting in breadcrumbs to actual Star Wars lore, like the Royal Guards with the Praetorian Guards that I didn't even
mhm.
know about. I'm
Yeah.
like, I got to give my props to you, guy. Kenny Ruiz absolutely crushed it with this one. I'm so happy that this leaves off in a cliffhanger. I want to see 5 volumes of this damn
Yeah.
thing because it's so good. So
Yeah.
hopefully this sells well. Hopefully we get a continuation. There's a lot of things I want to dive into, but
Mhm.
yeah, this is an easy recommend for me.
Yeah, you definitely gotta read it in one sitting. It's not that long. I mean, it's thick, but like most pages don't have that much dialogue too. So that's the style, right? And they're thinner, there's shorter pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's definitely, I mean, I'll say because I was already connected to those High Republic characters in Edge of Balance, is what it's called.
There it is, Edge of Balance. I don't know why I couldn't
I looked it
remember.
up. Don't worry. Uh, I was already connected to them, so I'm like, okay, this is really gripping, especially the Aslan Rel Arkoff one at the end there. But yeah, for new characters, it was this fun kind of zany Nyoka character who just
Yeah.
goes right in. Kind of reminds me of my niece who just goes right in to things, and yeah, and it's what was fascinating to me is at least the lore from what's fascinating from the lore aspect that I know you probably want to get into this is how they remember the Jedi, how they misremember the Jedi. Like this whole
Yeah.
concept that there's this idea out there that you can yank a lightsaber and the kyber crystal is going to magically turn you into a Jedi. That makes so much sense if you, in the sense of, yeah, I could totally see that being this myth that gets perpetrated out there because we're all the Jedi. We're gone except for how Luke stood down the First Order on Crate. in this, the myth gets perpetrated, kind of like at the end of The Last Jedi with Broom Boy and playing with the toys there. Kids' imaginations can just go wild, and even adults' imaginations can go wild and actually believe these things, given just how superhuman Jedi were, how that's perpetuated. So that, yeah, really was fascinated by that. And then, Phase More. I'm calling this part of Phase More because it's a High Republic Jedi. It's a High Republic ship that she finds, and bringing that whole sense of, well, it's this really curious mystery too, is what happened here? Why did this Jedi, maybe probably sometime after the Nile conflict, but still explicitly says High Republic, closes herself off. I mean, she's a way seeker, probably takes some form of the brash vow, but completely seals herself off and then just dies of starvation or whatever. And the lightsaber's there. And then even the lore about needing the vector, needing lightsaber to power the vector and all that. So all that stuff, I'll admit I've only been able to watch the first 2 episodes of Visions.
I know you're not the biggest anime guy.
Well,
I know.
That's not it. It's that I still struggle with it being almost anti-canon, whereas this is so grounded in this universe that we already know and feel natural about. And Visions is not all about, a lot about throwing that against the wall and jerking at. So, which is worthwhile. It is worthwhile. But if I'm going to just enjoy my time, I'm going to gravitate towards a thing that can then let me get past all this lore stuff to talk about this character, Nyoka, and how brave she is, how resourceful young tinkerer she is, but also naive because she's a kid who believes in these wild myths and legends, and turns out the world is a scarier, more dangerous place. So yeah, giving us all that, right? Kenny Reeves giving us all that, doing it, and it does something that Visions frankly can't, namely giving us, like you said, canonical Star Wars manga. It's a more nuanced twist, it's a more nuanced change on what we're used to seeing, what we're used to reading. And yeah, I agree with everything you said. But yeah, I do, again, except for the whole, I like Edge of Balance more, but I can see why it's a brilliantly original story here. So there's more you wanted to get into, so go for it.
Yeah, first of all, first order of business is we don't get enough of this, but an acknowledgement of the sacrifice of Luke Skywalker. Say what you will about the turn of events in The Last Jedi, but I think that's what Rian Johnson was going with at the end of the movie. And, I guess J.J. Abrams didn't really pick up on that thread. Is like, yes, this was supposed to be a monumental thing that Luke Skywalker stood out there, used every ounce of his living being to save the galaxy from tyranny once again.
Yeah.
And to provide that push for Rey and the Resistance to get back on their feet and have that hope and that motivation to fight strong, and that motivation to get spread throughout the galaxy. It's great seeing the Resistance broadcast of, oh, these everyday people are hearing this. So I loved hearing about the impact of events from The Last Jedi that are solidified in knowing that, yes, this wasn't just a one thing in the movie. This reverberated throughout the entire galaxy, and it does make that sacrifice even that more meaningful, that the everyday guy is out there being inspired by his sacrifice. So
yeah, yes, Barun, also maybe slightly naive, but still, yeah, I agree that even the kind of bringing that second childhood back, almost like this childlike wonder of, oh, a better galaxy is possible, a better world is possible, because of the way the Jedi can bring people together and inspire people to, and then, come and maybe jump in and save the day. But the way both Barun and Nyoka take it isn't, we're going to wait for a Jedi to come and save the day. We're going to go and try and become a Jedi. that's the whole thing. You need a master. You need a master. It's not like he doesn't say to her, "Oh, you're just a naive kid." That's what the other characters say. Their boss, forget her name, says, but he doesn't say you're a naive kid. Put that toy away. He says, "Yeah, this could really be a thing. But you need training. You need help," and that's far more constructive. So, yeah, that I mean, on the whole, it's true. JJ didn't quite follow it. We can infer with the Citizens Fleet, which is in my mind because the Last Order. I just read the Last Order. Has a bit of a role in there. But yeah, by and large, this is another direct example. I agree. And it was again from a very small character perspective, but one that reverberates.
I love the origin of this cast and this small crew aboard this vessel. This is something new to Star Wars I've never seen again, and that's why I like this so much. You're going to keep hearing me tonight talk about this was something new. This was something I've never heard about.
Yeah.
This was something that was describing this thing that I never thought about. Like, good. Like, let's get more creators in Star Wars that are presenting fresh, new, exciting ideas. That's going to be tantalizing, get us to think. So this next one was the idea of this kind of like crew aboard this drill ship, and this drill ship.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing to do. The crew, they all have their own role to play, and Nyoka is, like you said, the tinkerer that's helping keep this thing going. And drilling into a High Republic freaking like hideout thing, and it's like, oh wow, this is such a organic way of tying together High Republic with the sequel trilogy. This was great, and it just felt like just the way this thing started off was so strong. Getting introduced to these characters right in the middle of the action, just like George Lucas would do. Barun is such a cool character because he's one of the older characters that goes back to the Battle of Endor, and he's got it in his brain that Luke Skywalker was swashbuckling around, taking out ATSTs with a saber on the moon of Endor, and it was like, I mean, it kind of got back to that Legends of Luke Skywalker novel where Luke was supposedly pulling down Star Destroyers with the Force. We know he was on Jakku thanks to the latest Battle for Jakku comic, but that didn't actually happen. So I like that storytelling of people, overemphasizing, embellishing something a little bit for effect of drama. But yeah, see, the Barun character is cool because he's got that history. He's got that. While he is sort of naive, he has the backstory to provide, like, oh yeah, this battle with Empire, now we got the First Order, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But he's still really willing to help,
It's like Seb Griebling at the beginning of the Lego special, telling those stories, right? Okay, I have the Lego still here somewhere, but telling these legends. I mean, that's the thing is we get the facts wrong, but it's the meaning of those stories behind
the meaning. Yes.
Yeah. The meaning, the again, like I was saying, the power to inspire. And given the setting, like you mentioned, the setting of these characters in they're just this crew that is just going to take whatever job because their captain is pretty cynical. Is the opposite of naive, just the extreme opposite is cynicism. Just doesn't matter. We'll just take the job from whoever pays, and the people that are paying are the First Order. And that in that context is when this kid starts to find hope. And they hear these resistance broadcasts, and I mean the First Order character ends up killing. Oh, there's this what's it called? The prospect of Ren, the Ren prospect. Another great concept, right? That fits in, like this aspiring Knight of Ren needs to prove something to Kylo Ren, wants to prove something to him, and where was I going with this? That ends up killing, or at least capturing. It's kind of hard to see their captain. So they're on their own, free to or pursue their path, even if it's well, even in these tragic circumstances with their captain. So yeah, I mean, I also think you can see what are the words I'm trying to get at, that the ruthlessness of the First Order that they now encounter firsthand. We don't know what they had encountered before, but here they do. And yeah, it's it's definitely going to push them even farther. And I think we can get to this character they encountered at the end here. Pushes them not quite all the way, but further than they expected. If you want to dive into this character at the end.
Oh yeah, the what's his name? Let me look it up. Are you talking about the son of a royal guard named Tobu Tezayan?
Yeah, the son of the royal guard.
Oh, what a character this guy
Yeah.
is, man! What an awesome, rich character this guy was. And I was
Yeah.
like shocked that he came in this late into the story. I'm like reading this, going, "Oh no, they didn't just introduce this guy just to end the story completely." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, good, we're gonna see more of him in volume 2."
Yeah.
But like again, infusing the Japanese feudal Japan style look of this character as like a feudal Japan samurai with like this very confrontational kind of demeanor at first, ends up getting befriended, tells his backstory, and what a backstory it was as somebody just like you that was reading Master of Evil with Colonel Goth there as a Royal Guard commander. And now we're hearing about some more Royal Guard lore. I'm like, as a Royal Guard fanatic, I'm going, oh my gosh, when's the last time we got a Royal Guard story? We're getting 2 in the same week. What's happening here? This is crazy. Like the Knights of Ren basically taking out the father to or wanted him. They wanted him to train somebody for they were searching for new Praetorian. I'm reading this. They were searching for new Praetorian guards for the Supreme Leader. My father refused to serve that usurper, a Snoke. And then he basically got killed. And then the son is taking up his armor, taking up the sword. And now he's going to be the teacher of Nyoka.
Yeah.
Because he wants the revenge on this guy. It's like, oh man, what a story this is. I'm so excited.
And some layers to that, right? I mean, he's motivated by revenge, but he's also motivated by this sense of honor. He blames the Jedi because he has this sort of honor-bound mission to have vengeance on the Jedi, which is sort of inspired by the Empire because the Order 66 and the Sith. But when Nyoka and Barun go there and say, no, the situation's different. This is a new galaxy. The First Order kind of in charge. We still don't know how big the thing is, but they're the ones we really need to band together to fight and take out. It's he immediately says, okay, I'm gonna befriend you, like you said, and be the master that Nyoka, that Barun keeps saying. You need a teacher. So the question is going to be going forward, how trustworthy is he going to be? Is he going to have this sort of almost a change of heart in the sense of, okay, I'm no longer going to be driven by vengeance. I'm going to be driven by building a new galaxy, helping to build a new galaxy. And if it means just training this one kid to fight with a stick, okay. Hopefully, obviously, as Qui-Gon learned, it's a lot more to it than that, and the wisdom to find a more diplomatic solution. But this is the genre we're working in here of this lightsaber combat, martial arts, and a sign of heroism and courage and dignity and defending the vulnerable. And so that's the question with this Praetorian, or not Praetorian Guard, this Royal Guard character is he going to turn to focus not on he was vulnerable, so he's lashing out, to okay, the capability and mission to defend the vulnerable going forward, yeah, I was fascinated. I had a similar reaction to you, not the same. I'm like, oh, they're introducing a character this late. How are they going to finish this story so late? And it turns out they aren't. It's a cliffhanger. And again, here for it. As long as they make volume 2, they don't leave us in the lurch. But yeah, I think hopefully this thing sells well enough to merit that. And Kenny Ruiz, he seems to be having as much cred. You said he's Spanish, but he's part of the Japanese manga world. Viz is starting to, like, we've mentioned the High Republic manga quite a bit. Viz has had a good relationship with the Star Wars license and the Star Wars title, and so yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it's Lucasfilm making decision. Marvel has nothing to do with this. Star Wars has nothing to do with this. This is Viz doing their thing, and they can choose to go forward with this. And yeah, I hope they do.
Yeah. We can't talk about this book without talking about the lightsaber physics. I thought that was a stand, again, another new thing that I've never read about. I don't think anybody's gotten it as close to as with Kenny, with explaining for the readers, like, how it could be to wield a lightsaber,
the
and
Jawa
the
diagrams.
Yeah, that's where the anime thing comes in, man. I'm like anime stuff, like they'll have like characters thinking of stuff, and like some crazy like imagery will pop up.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening here. But it's like getting the bucket full of water and you're swinging it around in a centrifuge, like in a circular motion on arc, and then you stop it, the water like splashes. Like, I love just getting into it and just going for the nitty gritty, the little minor details, the real nitpicky stuff of like, this is how it would feel to swing a lightsaber. It is not as easy as you would think, right? It feels really heavy at certain points, and then it feels really light at certain points.
We have those toys, and even the expensive toys that are, $300 at Galaxy's Edge or whatever, but it's still not a real lightsaber. Hate to break to everyone. Yeah, that the Kyber crystal. I mean, that's the fascinating thing. She has this idea, this magical, mystical. You grab the saber, but she then has to experience it and encounter this living crystal and the effect it has on this physical device. And then she has to, like, this one thing I'm not familiar enough with manga to know that, okay, that's a thing that happens, but I thought it was really, really effective. I thought it was really intriguing, and it helps us feel it more. I mean, we have Kanan with Sabine, feel the weight of the blade, and we saw with that same blade the Darksaber with Din Djarin trying to fight with it, and now it's so heavy. But here we have a real great visceral, tangible metaphor to actually, we could literally, like a kid could literally pick up a bucket of water, and this is how it feels to wield a lightsaber, more or less. So yeah, we've never gotten that. Like you said, this is another thing we've never gotten in Star Wars. So it's not like a literal measuring how many pounds it feels. It's more experiential than that. And it was really, it's the kind of thing, that probably maybe can go beyond manga. Like I'd like to see this kind of thing being used in other parts of Star Wars. Just to give Young Jedi Adventures or something, like, let that be part of youngling training, to say, well, yeah, this is what it's like to actually wield a lightsaber. Because of course you and I don't know, and we'll never know, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately, that thing's dangerous. But that was great.
Another thing relating to the Japanese culture, first of all, is we haven't even talked about Ital, the Knight of Ren Prospect, who is our lead antagonist in this story so far. I love, just like, manga is, all black and white, and just, a lot of this is in the lighter tones, but whenever this character shows up, he is very quickly noticeable. pure black on the page, just a specter on the pages of in the side of this book.
Yeah.
And not only that, two things. First of all, he has an EX droid, which we know is from the prospecting days of the High Republic, which is almost like at this point like 400 years previous to where it's happening in the story. So I thought that was a nice little touch. But the way that this guy is wielding this weapon has somebody who's spent over 100 hours in Assassin's Creed Shadow using a very similar weapon to this guy. This would appear to be a Kisarigama or Kisarigami, which is basically a ninja's weapon that has a chain with a ball, like a heavy metal ball on one end, and then like a dagger on the other, so you can kind of whirl it around your head and lodge the blade into an enemy and then rip it out, and stuff happens when you do that.
That's
too graphic with that.
That's fun.
But yeah, so again, another great callback to the Eastern culture, the samurai, the ninjas. So very much having a ninja as the character of Tobu Taizan, and then you have a ninja character as a Tao in Star Wars. This is close. We're getting to samurai, basically, and ninjas in Star Wars. And I'm just like, this is, again, this story resonates with me so damn well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing that Visions does really great. All the different kind of lightsaber ideas, different kind of weapons ideas that are inspired by feudal Japan, right? We have the broadsword and the claymore and the I don't think we have any kind of sabers or epes or anything, but we have these other. I don't even remember what the name of that weapon is, but yeah, it gives a new look. It makes him seem less predictable, more formidable. What he ends up doing to that captain, kind of brutal. So another layer, and then he's the zeal of the not the Conqueror, the zeal of the prospect of the guy who's trying to prove himself. Prove he can be as bad as the Knights of Ren are trying to be. Of course, we've seen Charles Soule's writing all about the Knights of Ren, or a little bit about the Knights of Ren. But yeah, it's really effective, really way to dig into Japanese culture to give us. I mean, that's again what Visions is doing. I think this is a level past that because it's in the universe, in the story. It's actually contributing to it too. I know I'm kind of dunking on Visions here. I'm not trying to. I should watch it, but this is just reminding me that this is what happens when you actually do the. I'm gonna be nicer here. This is what happens when it can really contribute to the canon. These things are in the universe as part of the fabric of the universe, and yeah, it's more exciting to me, I should say. So,
yeah, that's basically all I have on this one. I know it was enough, probably for the listeners.
Yeah, whatever.
But I sometimes have to gush about a certain thing, and I let my passion take over. And that's what happened on this one. I was like, already, like, oh, I got Master of Evil. I gotta read. No offense, I gotta read this manga first because I know I gotta review that. And I guess I'll read it. Next thing you know, I'm loving the damn thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I read this.
Good content, Chris. Good content. Like the New York Comic Con episode. Last little bit of thing I want to get at is a bit of a show and tell. I was able to pick this thing up. This is the actual size of the Darth Maul Black, White, and Red Treachery Edition.
Whoa.
It is massive, and I have the Vader one over there, but
oh my
gosh, a good I don't know. I'm trying to find a good. Here's a good page. Here's some good pages. Like, look at this.
Whoa!
This is the screen. Like,
oh my!
Like even the cover is amazing. And this is what they do. Why they do Treasury editions, right? Like, all the Black, White, Blood ones have Treasury editions too, just because it really brings out the vividness. Oh my gosh! I'm gushing now. Really brings out the vividness of the colors and the action, and the work these artists did, because that's the thing with this series, is this sort of anthology series. It's about the art. It's about obviously art is story. That's how comic books work. But yeah, if you get a chance to pick this up, Darth Maul Black, White, and Red Treasury, I grabbed the Vader one. It's over there. Definitely give this a look, and maybe the Boba Fett one will have it too. We'll see. But one thing we do know is that next week is Boba Fett. If I can get it, find it. Where Black, White, and Red, number 3, written by Ethan Sachs, our friend of the pod, Ethan Sachs. I can call him that, I guess. Yeah, Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red. Chris, you will be having your delayed by a month and a half Thanksgiving.
The real Thanksgiving,
the fake Thanksgiving. But so yeah, I will be flying solo on that. And then check out Chris. People can check out Chris's channel for his breakdown of Black, White, and Red number 3.
Yep.
But I will fly solo on that, and maybe talk about the end of Star Wars Insider, because we haven't gotten a chance to chat about that here, and can probably end up with musings on digital versus physical media and whatnot there. But in terms of this, what are you looking forward to? Black, White, and Red number 3.
Just Ethan Sachs. I mean, this is the bounty hunter guy as we know him over at Marvel. This guy knows bounty hunters and the scum and villainy left to right. He's even wrote several issues of whether it be Jango Fett or Boba Fett himself. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with this guy. What else can be said?
And what can be said is he knows they're not just cool characters. They're deeply flawed characters. They're deeply driven characters, and we're gonna have Tim Morrison in our head, of what he brought to this character. Obviously Jeremy Bulloch and what everyone's brought to this character, but yeah, what Charles Soule has brought as well, and Steve McNiven. But yeah, here the Ethan Sachs with that change in art style that we just saw. Be curious to what kind of story this is. So yes, check out your local comic book shop for that, for all the Insider issues. I mean, that's ending in January, I think, February, around there. So check that out. Hopefully Marvel Solicits will be in next week as well. So if those come in, we will chat about what's on them, what's not on them, among other things. So yeah, well, at least I'll be back to chat about that.
Yeah, crossing my fingers for a new comic book from Marvel. I think we are due for one based on the limited amount of stuff that's coming out in February.
Yes.
We shall see.
We shall see. We shall see, as Snook says. But Chris, thanks for another episode, another good episode. Where can they find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me on twitter.com/StarRaptor as I chart my journey through video games I've completed. I think I'm up to 16 now, close to be 17. So can I break 20 again for year 2025? We shall see. So I have a thread for that on my Twitter account. I also have just random photos and different things from conventions and different things. So just follow me over there for the latest on pop culture and maybe some hot takes on different things here and there.
There we go.
And then as far as the main content, youtube.com/StarRaptor. Very busy week last week. A lot of content I put out there for comic book reviews, for this review of the manga, for my review of Master of Evil, for my look at the Star Wars Legion future for 2026. If you're a miniature fan, I have a bunch of miniature news that I break down in a newsworthy 18-minute episode fashion. So a lot of good content up on the channel. Support it, subscribe. Thank you very much. And I guess I'll see you guys in about 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, it's true. Because next week I'm flying solo. The week after that, friend Ash and I are going to a musical. So we got free tickets. So it's when I got free tickets, it's what you do. So yeah, definitely see you in 3 weeks. Say we can follow me, but yeah, then we'll be back to probably catch up on some things a little bit. We will definitely not let anyone go without our thoughts and feels about comic books That being said, let it also never be said that you lack range, Chris. You definitely get all corners of fandom. You cover it. So, yeah, check. It's great. Great what you do over at Star Raptor and Outer Rim Transmissions. You can find my personal Instagram, MNEUG1138. That's also my threads in Blue Sky. Personal Twitter, NEUG485, and on the Ion Cannon podcast. That's on this here channel, Mondays, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. This past Monday, as I briefly mentioned, Joel and I reviewed the last Order by Kwame Mbale, a great YA novel, must read for sequel era fans, I would say. And then this coming Monday, we're talking about the theme of prophecy and what that might mean in Star Wars and what it might not mean and different things. So be sure to check that out this Monday, and then I will be right back at you flying solo on the tractor beam the next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I will be chatting Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red, maybe the Marvel solicits, we'll see, and then end of Insider, just talk about physical versus digital, etc., etc. So that should do it for Tractor Beam Comics reviews. Until next week, although for Chris, until a few weeks from now, happy reading.